Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with round 9 of season 2 of the F1 2021 Williams Road to Glory. Yesterday we head back to the Austrian GP. Of course, if you missed out on the last couple of videos from this series, we've been really getting back into it with the Williams series. Only a couple of weeks away now before the return of IRL Formula 1. Safe to say, I'm getting very, very hyped up, hence why there's a lot of content coming out for you guys at the moment there. But yeah, like I said, racing once again. Don't want to leave you guys with any spoilers, so this is your official warning, but things looking rather good at the moment. We're making good progress at this stage of the campaign there. We got 3 more upgrades in the works, as you can see there. 2 durability and 1 chassis upgrade there, which should bring us in line with AlphaTauri there and push us in towards sort of the top half of the competitive running there. Championship-wise, though, Hamilton leads the way 6 points clear, of Max Verstappen there. Bottas and Sergio Perez now hanging on there or thereabouts in the fray at the top. Both McLaren's 5th and 6th there, but we're up into 8th place after a really good run of form over the last couple of Grand Prix there. And the team in 6th as well there, just 3 points behind Ferrari at this stage of the season. George Russell down in 14th place there with 14 points. But yeah, things looking rather good at this stage of the year there. Of course, if you are new around here and you aren't already, please make sure you get yourself subscribed as well. We've got plenty more Formula 1 content coming over the coming weeks and months. Trying to hit 40k at the moment. Our big goal for the year is 50,000. So if you can help us get one step closer, it would be greatly, greatly appreciated. But yeah, let's dive in then here to the Austrian GP weekend. The 2022 F1 season kicks off in just a couple of weeks' time, and now with all the car reveals out the way, we have got official merch drops from basically every F1 team. Available now, the Aston Martin 2022 range, as well as the all-new Williams pack, and then of course, the Mercedes 2022 range drop has also been released. I'm definitely going to be copping myself some George Russell merch as well. But yeah, links down below, there is merch available for every team, and of course, if you use the links, you massively help support the channel. Right, here we are then, ready for our first qualifying lap here from the Austrian Grand Prix. Must admit, love coming back to this track. So picturesque in the Formula 1 calendar. I've been here in real life, and it's one of the most beautiful venues and sort of locations for an F1 race. How it'll fare this weekend, though, for us in the Williams is another story left to be answered. Max Verstappen immediately down into the 102s there. The hills, I'm sure, are going to be live with the sound of Dutch music. But yeah, let's just wait and see what we can do. Put a lot of fresh components in the car as well this weekend. We had a lot of stuff sort of sat up towards 50-60% wear. This season is going to be a lot of grid penalties still as we try and set ourselves up for Season 3 to hopefully try and put on a championship charge. As Sainz now goes fastest as well. Ferrari looking quick. Right in the final corner though, up towards start-finish line, we are going to set a 104. So slower than Giovinazzi there. That was not a good time. Well, first lap then, yeah, it was definitely not to write home about. Down in P19 there. Almost a second off our teammate George Russell. So this second time round, we're definitely have to try and attack. There is a lot of curb taken as we start our second run then. Seem to just be losing time pretty much everywhere around the lap, which is hardly reassuring. I've ran quite a high aero setup here. Just try and make sure we've got the grip and the downforce in the GP. Trying to focus more on race setups than launching the car high up in qualifying. Let's just wait and see then second lap whether we can keep it a bit tidier. Oh, running a little bit deep at the top of the hill.
Got 2 laps of fuel left.
But really getting on the power nicely as we head along sort of this plateau around the top of the Red Bull Ring. 10th and a half up at the moment, and the first sector was probably our most competitive, so that's reassuring. Let's just wait and see there as we really try and get on the power, trying to attack with the car just a little bit more as we head sort of through this roller coaster that is the rest of the lap. We sort of wind up the hill pretty straight, and then the rest of the lap is just sort of winding back down, sneaking through the undulations here in the Styrian Mountains. But nearly 4 tenths up now, 2 more corners to go. A little bit of second guessing ourselves through the penultimate one there, and round in the final corner. Oh, very, very wide there, taking a lot of curb. Half second improvement though. Only going to put us P16 there, still half a second off our teammate George Russell. That's a lot of time to find with just 1 more lap to go. Right, well, about to start then our final lap of qualifying here for the Austrian Grand Prix. I don't think we're going to find another half a second But if we can just get a little bit closer to our teammate there and try and sort of get ahead of Stroll and Gio, I guess we'll probably have to take that as a win. Just really trying to get on the throttle early at turn 1 there, because he's gaining a tiny bit of time as we head up the hill. No, in fact, losing it the other way again, so not too sure how we've managed that. Top of the hill was where we made us another small mistake last time. Get it into second gear to really modulate the throttle on the exit. Back into the green, but again, we're just losing a little bit of time as we head down the straights here. Really trying to attack the curbs to make this place as wide as possible. Of course, still, yeah, got to try and clip the apexes as well as we head back down the hill. Verstappen now sets a 102 flat, so he's looking very, very quick. Here's the Dutchman. Always goes well around the Red Bull ring there. It's making a big hash of the double left-hand. Sorry, yeah, the double left-hander even, I should say. Hamilton sits a 101.7 there. That's a fantastic lap time by the Mercedes man and the championship leader there. Final couple of corners for us, though. Really trying to attack the curbs there. Really tidy run at the final corner. A 10th up, though, and it's only going to be P17. Not what we needed here in Austria, especially around a track that I thought would suit our car.
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top 3 today. Hamilton, Perez, and Max Verstappen. With qualifying wrapped up, we now have our grid lineup for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a fantastic race.
Well, there we go then. Very, very interesting qualifying session. Hamilton dropping quarter of a second on Sergio Perez, who went quicker than his teammate Max Verstappen there. Bottas down in 4th ahead of both McLarens and both Ferraris. They can see further down the order, we were 6/10 off George Russell there in the end. We just had no answer against our teammate. I think, yeah, this weekend we might struggle a little bit. Gonna have to try and see if the car, you know, like I said, I've tried to gear it up towards race pace. But yeah, disappointed to be that far off where I'd expect to be. But Austria often provides some carnage on F1 2021. Let's dive in then here to the race.
Welcome to the beautiful Styrian Mountains for another chapter in the story of the Austrian Grand Prix. It's one of the shortest laps on the calendar today then, with 7 rights and just 3 lefts, making up the 10 corners of this high-speed circuit. Turn 2 is barely a corner at all. They'll be flat out through there, a left-hand kink into the uphill braking zone of turn 3. Turns 1, 3 and 4 are all potential opportunities to overtake. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Bottas, Lando Norris and Ricciardo, Sainz, Leclerc, Gasly and Yuki Tsunoda, Ocon, Raikkonen, Sebastian Vettel and Russell, Stroll, Giovinazzi, Mr. Monaco and Nikita Mazepin, Mick Schumacher and Nicholas Latifi. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
Right, well here we are then on the grid, ready for the Austrian GP. P17 was not quite where we wanted to be at the end of qualifying yesterday, but fingers crossed, you know, we can sort of have a good race out today and try to recover some of these positions there. Not too sure in terms of strategy. I wanted to try and do soft-medium, to be honest. I think is the way to go around this race. It doesn't, well, it basically thinks it's doable, so that's what we're going to try and do for this one here today. But like I said, Austria can often deliver a lot of carnage on F1 2021. Whether that'll be the case today is yet to be decided. But just got to be in it to win it. Keep our head down. You know, it's sort of how we've launched ourselves into contention over the last couple of races there. Well-timed safety cars, a bit of an optimistic strategy from me that falls into place. It won't happen forever, but you know, we're going to keep enjoying it whilst it does here. But ready on the grid then, here for round 9 of the year from the Austrian Grand Prix. Waiting on those 5 red lights. It's going to be lights out and away we go. Trying to avoid wheel spin off the start there, and it hasn't helped as much as the Gita Mazepin. Now going to have a look towards the inside, in towards turn 1. They're really late on the brakes there. Of course, everyone, sim damage, got to be super careful through the first few turns of the GP there. I mean, look at that, 2-3 wide as they head up the hill. Bottas trying to make a move on both of the Red Bull cars there as Giovinazzi tries to move towards me. We end up having a look down the inside of Sir Lancelot. We will make that position move. So Giovinazzi starting on the mediums there has lost 1 place. Stroll's lost 1 place, but we're up 2 here as still cars sneaking down the hill, trying to make moves work on each other. Sebastian Vettel and Kimi Raikkonen, 2 Ferrari teammates. We watched them battle at Canada just a couple of weekends ago, and it looks like Kimi under even more pressure as George Russell now sends it to the inside of the Finn. We've now got Stroll trying to look back at the inside of us, so he's seen his teammates making moves. And Stroll wants to try and get in on the action there, but we hook it up round the outside. Not going to back out of that one as easily as I'm sure the Canadian would have wanted there. It's round in the final couple of corners. Pretty certain it's still Hamilton that leads ahead of Sergio Perez there, but Bottas getting in between the Red Bulls on lap 1 there. That's exactly what Mercedes need him to do. As look at this train as we head back down towards turn 1.
Resulting in loose debris. Fortunately, the marshals have managed to clear it up in time, and there are no plans for a safety car right now.
And it looks like then, I think it is Verstappen that's in the pit lane here. As you can see, cars just trying to make moves absolutely everywhere. At the moment, we're going to have a look up the inside of our teammate George Russell there, who couldn't pull off the move on Kimi Raikkonen. And yeah, we just got to be brave early on in this GP. Try and take as many positions as we possibly can there. So straight up into 13th place there. Tsunoda and Vettel now going side by side. This is a brilliant start to the Austrian Grand Prix. This is why I love coming back here on the F1 games. Oh, it's heading in towards the final couple of corners here. This is already looking a bit disastrous. Cars weaving this way, and that Lando Norris getting in the way. And how on earth? We've just gone around the outside of like 5 cars through the final couple of corners here. It is chaos at the start of the Austrian Grand Prix.
You can use it when within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
And it looks like, yeah, just the top 4 have been able to sneak away at the start of this one. But we've gone from, what, 17th to 9th in the first 2 laps here, as everyone just tripping over each other and picking up damage. Now we've got Ricciardo and Leclerc going side by side at the top of the hill. Leclerc definitely doesn't want to be on the outside there anymore. As look at this, I mean, Ocon 7 myself. None of us should really be this high up early on in the Grand Prix. I wonder if Carlos Sainz has got issues as well, as Leclerc and Ricciardo still side by side as they head down the hill. This is chaos to start this GP. Oh, here we go. Ricciardo and Leclerc again going side by side at the top of the hill there. I had to take a moment just to catch my breath in this GP with everything that's happened early on. I mean, it's kind of been a bit of a blessing. Like I said, I'm pretty certain it's Verstappen that went into the pit lane there, but I don't know for sure, as Leclerc still defending with every fibre of his being ahead of Daniel Ricciardo there. But we're only 5 laps in, and we've got more carnage and chaos than you might see in a decade at Monaco. I think Ricciardo now might have picked up damage as well. Yes, he has Ricciardo into the pits as well. So we're now going to be up into 8th place then of the Grand Prix there. And that's going to force back Ocon and Sebastian into our clutches as well here.
That's P8 now.
Seb goes defensive in towards turn 1. Not going to be able to put the power down on the exit of the corner though. Again, we've pretty much got an even spec car with Aston Martin at the moment. It did seem to be gelling a little bit more with this circuit though, but as we head up the hill, perhaps that was just in qualifying pace. Aston Martin can get more out of it, as now up at a P7 of the GP. 10 places in 6 laps here. It's like a last question mark challenge in the My Team series. Now closing in on Esteban Ocon here as we head up the hill through fake turn 2 and in towards turn 3. Oh, Ocon just locking up a brake there. Perhaps just feeling the pressure a little bit more. As, yeah, we've definitely got some overspeed now on the Alpine here. No idea why this car wouldn't click in qualifying, but we get it onto race day. And all the cars we'd expect to be battling with, we are able to again. Team recommending a new strat. Luckily, they don't think we picked up damage, but now they do believe the one stop is doable here. And yeah, up at a 7th place we go as Seb tries to have a look up the inside there. Very opportunistic move from Sebastian, but he has muscled us out the way there. And yes, suddenly out of nowhere, we went from attacking Esteban Ocon in front to losing the place to Sebastian Vettel behind once more.
Okay, you're dropping a few tenths per lap to the car ahead. They're edging away.
See if we can get a run on Sebastian again as we head back up the hill there, as we're taking way too much curb out of turn 1. To the outside though, as we head up the hill there, almost a bit of wheel-to-wheel contact between myself and Seb as we both close up to Esteban Ocon. Going to try and use Ocon to help us around the outside of Sebastian, which we do. Of course, Seb, yeah, couldn't go anywhere there with Ocon on the inside of him, and now might be able to launch ourselves back towards the gearbox of the Alpine. Ocon again kicks out the back end as he tries to put the power down out of turn 1, and that's just going to leave him a sitting duck to us as we head up the hill. To the outside of Esteban we go.
Nice move.
Oh, he tries to keep the nose in right at the last moment there. I thought he backed out of it, and then he thought second, tried to get second bite of the cherry there. But anyway, I'm into P6 then of the Grand Prix. This has been such a brilliant opening start to this race. I don't know what a closing start would be, but yeah, a brilliant opening start is what we're rolling with today. Charles Leclerc 4 seconds up the road.
To start falling away soon.
I think the aim now is probably just try and keep these guys at bay and play out our long game strategy here. Because again, it should leave us with a bit to defend ourselves with later on. But just got to be wary of the undercut. Because immediately Verstappen into the pits then. So it was Sergio Perez throughout all of that had all the issues there. I knew saying it'd be Verstappen was probably going to be wrong. But yeah, the Red Bull into the box very, very early.
George is in the pits. George in the pits.
But he is going to come out ahead of me as Russell into the pits as well behind us. All kicking off here. Oh, big snap of oversteer out of T1. So here we go. Pierre Gasly, next man into the pits, as well as Seb behind.
10.4 seconds.
So starting to see some interesting strategies come into play. I mean, Verstappen, yeah, is definitely on a 2-stop there. So we've got yellow flags out. One of the Haas cars, I think, breaking down here. I want to say that's Mick Schumacher, unfortunately. No, it is Latifi. I'm not good at guessing my teammates today. But yeah, Nicolas Latifi out of the Austrian Grand Prix there. That looked to be a standard engine failure, though nothing too exciting. More yellow flags out then, and now it's one of the McLarens. So they've had a disastrous start to the race, having to both pit out of line with everyone else, and it's our second power unit failure of the day. I was going to say Lando Norris, but saying that it's probably going to be Daniel Ricciardo, because I can't seem to guess any of them right in this video. But yeah, rounding the final couple of corners for us though. Not long before we see more cars into the pits. And yep, it is Ricciardo. You couldn't write it at the moment. But yeah, second power unit failure of the day. The high altitude of Austria. Ooh. Yeah, clearly pushing and stressing a lot of engines out. We're just trying to keep Ocon at bay at the moment though, as sort of strategies take shape.
The gap to the car ahead is 6.2 seconds.
Well, coming towards the end of lap 15 then. We're going to box the end of this one.
We're boxing this lap.
Leclerc right in front of us. Hamilton though also doing the same strategy as me by the looks of it, so no idea why the team didn't think the medium soft was going to be doable here. As no, it's actually Pierre Gasly that's all over the back of me. I thought it was Esteban Ocon, unless of course I think he's just pit. So Pierre, yeah, really trying to apply the pressure at the moment. One Frenchman out for another, but we're just trying to hang on in front of him. Not really against Pierre or anything, we're just trying to play our own race at the moment. And need to try and not sit in the dirty air of any other cars, which it looks like we will for now. Then rounding the final few corners of the very same lap. Of course, we are going to box at the end of this one. Are we going to get undercut in this race? That's the question I think on everybody's minds as well. Oh, Gasly gives me a big old squeeze there. Actually runs me a little bit wide as we head into the pit lane there. As we just try to avoid Pierre. Get the car slowed down nicely into the lane though, which we have done. Real life. Yep, I'll hold up my hands and admit that would have probably been a penalty, but luckily this is F1 2021 and it's a little bit more lenient on us as we head into the box there. Really did take everything out of this rubber. 2.3 seconds stop though, that's what we like to see. And Russell's now going to be ahead of us. We're going to be still right with the points there as Esteban Ocon there, as we try not to lock up out of the pit lane. So bumpy on pit lane exit there. It looks like Kimi Raikkonen is out into P12 as well. So yeah, we're not far away from the points, and we're on a better strategy than a lot of these cars. I think Russell's definitely 2-stopping. Not too sure what Ocon's doing though. Perez into the pits again, so he's probably going to be trying to attack us over the next few laps here. Had a really good qualifying, did Sergio Perez there, but so far the race has gone anything but his way. He's just going to come out ahead of Yuki Tsunoda there, just behind Carlos Sainz, so about 3 seconds back from me. It's just a case of how quickly we'll be able to fight back through those cars, because Ferrari, they're not slow this weekend. Anyway, on to lap 21 though, all over the back now of Ocon and George Russell here, as well as Sebastian Vettel. 4 cars on 2 different strategies that are, oh yeah, way higher than I think any of us expected to be. Is today as Ocon immediately makes a mistake through turn 1 though, squeezes me right up to the grass as we head up the hill, but we are going to make the move work. I'm in a P8 of the Grand Prix. Do not want to accidentally send it on our teammate there. As all a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact forces me to bounce out over the curves there, and really, yeah, was not planning on throwing that sort of block on Esteban Ocon there, but Sainz is going to be very, very thankful for it. The Spaniard might be able to make the move work up the inside of Esteban. No, he cannot. So Esteban Ocon lives to fight another day. There is Sergio Perez right with the pair of them as well, but not too sure when we're going to see Vettel and Russell in again. I would have thought it would be around lap 25, lap 26, but we just got to try and hang on there. It's all Russell. Big kick of oversteer there as he tries to put the power down in towards the final couple of turns. I think our teammate, you know, we're playing a pretty good team game so far this year. You know, we are working together quite well, myself and George Russell, and I know he doesn't want to hold me up too much at this stage of the day there, so we're going to have a look to the outside as we head back down in towards turn 1. Oh, very, very close there, but we do pull off the move. Around the outside we go. Try not to cost our teammate too much, but he might now be vulnerable to Esteban Ocon behind there. But speaking of vulnerable, Sebastian Vettel now just in front of us, having to block as we head up the hill. Can we try and get a run off the top? Should be able to there. Compromised run in, always ruins your run on the way out. And around the outside of Sebastian we go there. So 3 places in 2 laps, just picking these cars off. But again, Seb and George going to be mighty fast towards the end of this. Can they make up a pit stop though? That's the real question. So here comes Pierre Gasly just out of the pit lane again, and he's managed to build up a pit stop over me so far in this race today. I don't think we'll be battling with Pierre before the end of this.
Some information on Tsunoda. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
Also issues for Yuki Tsunoda then late on in the GP, but in towards the last, third of this Grand Prix. Sergio Perez now just going to get inside the DRS range of us. Not really sure it's going to be worth trying to defend from Checo late on in the day. He's had a pretty decent recovery drive, it must be said as well there, from right at the very back of the field. Kind of fell into place for him with all that chaos early on in the GP. Meant that a lot of us were going to be easy pickings for the Red Bull, but yeah, I think he's probably going to move past me next lap. But I mean, even then, 7th place. With how bad we were in qualifying, like I said, we really focused on a race pace car today, and I'm happy that's come true, because yeah, I would have felt pretty bad had we just sort of lingered around outside the top 10 all day. Got a bit lucky, like I said early on, but still plenty of time for things to turn upside down. So yeah, not really going to use any battery to try and defend from Sergio Perez. You know, don't really want to lose time battling him all too much late on in the GP. There is Sergio, up the inside he goes towards the top of the hill. Try and get a switch back on him on the exit if possible. But yeah, not too sure if we're going to be able to defend from from Carlos Sainz. Team wants to try and regain the position there, but I've absolutely got no intention of doing so, as that's not the line through there. But yeah, Carlos Sainz 1.3 seconds back. Wonder if we can try and use Checo just to break away a little bit from the Spaniard. There is Verstappen in hot pursuit of the 2 Mercedes that lead the way, but Red Bull might have botched his strategy today. Yeah, Checo has kind of romped away from it. Quite a rate of knots, to be honest, over the last couple of laps, so not too sure we're going to be able to do much to try and defend from Carlos Sainz here. Got to really pick and choose our battles still wisely this early on in the campaign there. I know we've just crossed over 1/3 distance in the championship. You know, this is sort of the bigger picture stuff as well. We're going to keep trying to use a bit of battery to defend from Carlos here, but yeah, P7 versus P8 today, either one is a really good result there. As you can see how much the Spaniard gains up towards the top of the hill. Nothing we can really do there. We're struggling with the back end for grip. So immediately, those Sainz on the offensive. Gonna have a look to the inside as we head down the hill. I was not expecting to move there from Carlos, and we'll wait and see if we can match him. But I'm not optimistic at the moment. I think that Ferrari is just a bit too fast, even I should say, for us to handle this weekend. 5 laps to go now of this GP. We're actually not losing any time to Carlos Sainz at all there. The triple DRS zone around here really allow me to stick close to the Spaniard. Don't really think it's time to go for a move back on him just yet. As you can see, as we head up the hill, gaining rather rapidly actually on Carlos Sainz. Like I said, was actually planning on going for a move here, but Oh, big kick of wheel spin on the X there, force him towards the inside. Sainz is going to have the DRS this time round. We actually did collide there, didn't feel anything through the wheel as Sainz is going to try and hang on. Yeah, perhaps we will be able to make a move work again, but we're going to have to really time it. Might have to be a last lap sort of thing as we try and just force him to drain battery. Team say they're happy with the tyres at the moment, so just trying to keep those in a good window. 3 laps to go of this GP, and yeah, still hanging on with Carlos Sainz here. Like I said, don't really want to make a move before the last lap, but also, yeah, don't really want to then suddenly be left stranded on the last lap of the Grand Prix either, where every time we're able to get a run up the hill there, as you can just see again, having a look to the outside of the Spaniard, who again is going to go deep on the brakes. Squeeze me out wide. Oh, again though. This time around we put the power down. And Sainz though is going to have the DRS again, so he's just going to come straight back at me. That's why there's no point doing this until the last lap, and then we're going to have to go uber aggressive, trying to make sure we get clean past him. Might be worth trying to stick near him down the first straight, and then trying to get a run down in towards turn 4. We just don't know yet, but I'm just sat here studying how that Ferrari sort of manoeuvres its way around this venue. 2 laps to go here in the Austrian Grand Prix. Oh, tyres just starting to struggle as we round down the hill on this penultimate lap here. Got to try and stick close now to Carlos Sainz, and this is what I was worried about. The fact that if we didn't go for the move, then suddenly we struggle for pace right towards the very end, as you know, Sainz in that Ferrari turns up the battery and everything like that and really tries to take the last out of his tyres there. Really nice run though at the final corner. 1 lap to go here from the Austrian Grand Prix. Team just reminding us, and I think it is going to be a Mercedes 1-2, but are we going to be able to get the run on Carlos Sainz as we head up the hill? Surely we're going to have the overspeed like we've seen so many times before in this GP there. Forces me to the grass. We'll go aggressively on the defence there as we head towards the top of the hill, and so often have we seen late race changes for position here in the Styrian Mountains. Hamilton is going to take home the win, making it a Mercedes 1-2 there in Red Bull's backyard, so I'm sure Red Bull not too happy with that one, but we've just about, I think, done enough to try and make the move work on Carlos Sainz there. Didn't give in, kept persevering right towards the very end of the Grand Prix there. Looks like it is going to be Charles Leclerc who finishes in P4 there, ahead of Pierre Gasly and Sergio Perez, but can we hang on now from Carlos Sainz? I think we were both just really struggling in the dirty air, down in towards the final couple of corners of the Austrian Grand Prix. Qualifying was nothing to write home about, but it's all come together today once again, and it's going to be P7.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
The Mercedes team pulled out a fantastic performance today. They should be proud. And talk to me. What do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for Driver of the Day?
I have to give it to Mr. Monaco. They pushed and found some fantastic performance. It was just a pleasure to watch.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. Well, that was certainly an incredible weekend of racing. Be sure to join myself and Ant for more exciting Formula One action soon.
Well, there we are then, guys. The end of the Austrian Grand Prix there, and Hamilton, championship leader, further extends his gap at the top there. I'm sure, yeah, Red Bull and Max Verstappen kicking themselves that they couldn't really hassle them right towards the very end there. A bold strategy, by Red Bull, but not quite good enough today there. Bottas comes through for P2 ahead of Max Verstappen, then Leclerc. A decent showing for Ferrari when they desperately needed it, ahead of Gasly and Sergio Perez there. We come through 17th to 7th in the end, ahead of Carlos Sainz and Lando Norris there, with Esteban Ocon rounding out the top 10. So yeah, when you consider how early Lando had to pit, a pretty decent recovery by him and McLaren as well there. Kimi finishes ahead of Stroll and Sebastian Vettel there, with George Russell down in P14. Not a result that he really deserved today. Had a lot of good pace in the car, but just couldn't make it work there. Had a Gio, Tsunoda, Mazepin and Schumacher, with just Ricciardo and Latifi not making it to the checkered flag there. Championship-wise, though, does mean Hamilton now 15 points clear out on top again, as Bottas takes a couple of points out of his main rival, Max Verstappen. Sergio Perez still in P3 ahead of both, P4 ahead of both McLarens there. We're still 8th. Leclerc finally gets, yeah, big result for him. Now jumps Tsunoda and Kimi Räikkönen there. No other movers towards the rear of the championship, but Ferrari now just edging away from us. You know, it was always a matter of time that they started to pull out the gap there. Mercedes 29 clear of Red Bull though. McLaren still in P3 there. We're still 6th, 15 points ahead of Alpine, so as long as we can hang on ahead of them and maybe, just maybe, close up the gap to AlphaTauri, I'll be pretty happy with that. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well, and yeah, we'll be back very, very soon. We're around 10 of the year. We head, I think, to Silverstone. You guys do not want to miss that. Home race for the team, home race for us. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.